Hello again. We are going to be including a new way of writing a suffix, es. We usually say it as is. The reasons for adding you'll be used to already. And we need to be thinking about the sounds that we can hear in the word we're adding the suffix to. Here we have 2 bus passes. If we had 1, we'd say pass. Here we have somebody who passes the ball to another player. He passes the ball. But if I did it, I'd say I pass. So we have a similar reason. Because there are 2, we need a suffix. But if we just added s, we wouldn't hear it, because the word ends in s. And if we just added s to pass, when you're passing a football, you wouldn't hear it. And that's why we have the suffix es. There are 2 bus passes. Now we can hear that there are 2. He passes the ball to his mate. We can hear what we do with an action word when we've named somebody. And this time when we've named them, we haven't used a name. We've used what we call a pronoun. He. It's instead of using a name. So, let's have a think. We'll be listening. Does our word end in s? Pass. One car passes the other car. So let's write our word pass to begin with. I can hear p. Then I could hear a. Then I could hear s. And because the word has a short vowel sound, I double the s. But what about if my sentence was the car passes as he overtakes? Well, we're going to write our starter word, pass, and then we add es, passes. Let's have another word. Hiss. Hiss. There we are. We've used these words before when we were adding the suffix ing. This time we are adding es, is. The cat hisses. Have a go at writing it. You can do it with me if you'd like to. Is H. I is I. S is double S because it follows a short vowel sound. And then we added es. Is. Hisses. And do you remember what this word is? Boss is our starter word. He bosses. So, b is B, o is O, s will be double S again because it follows a short vowel sound. And then we had is, bosses, but we write it using an E and an S. So we listen to know what to write. Oh, well, look at this lovely mess. And that's our starter word. And then we could hear S, but is another short vowel sound, so we write double S. Now when it's a wee one, making this sort of a picture, we don't call it a mess. This is learning to be creative. But we'll have a go with our suffix. Mess is our starter word. And to begin with, we are going to add messes. He messes with the paint. But it's all in the name of art. And which suffix will we add this time? He or she is messing with the paint. And we have suffix ing. Mess, messes, messing. We are beginning to include more suffixes. And it depends on the sentence which one we use. Before we start writing our sentences, we're going to think about two words. Go and do. And we are going to either remember that when we are writing an action word that somebody does, we can add suffix es to these two words, or we can use first sound spelling. And our first sound spelling would be goes, so we write the letter G, on, so we write O, every, so we write E, and scooter, so we write S. Goes on every scooter. And then what do? Well, we have to scoot along with one foot while the other foot stays on the plate. So, this is an action that he does. Does, I can hear D at the beginning. I write the letter D. On, so I write the letter O. Every, so I write the letter E. And scooter, so I write the letter S. Goes and does. Now there are a few other words where we add suffix es because a word ends in the letter O, like potatoes and tomatoes. So we've included these two words here for you to get used to them. But this is a tricky rule, and some words that end in O, we don't add suffix es. So it's your choice. Are you going to remember it as a suffix that you can't really hear? Or are you going to use first sound spelling? Goes on every scooter. Does on every scooter. Let's write our sentences. Ted passes Beth and Ness as he scoots to the pond. Okay, first bit. Ted passes. Just 2 words. Think about the suffix we've introduced and think about our new sound, that we write with the letter E. Ted. Well, we need a capital letter because we can hear it's somebody's name and it's the beginning of a sentence. So T is capital T. E is E. And then D. Pass. And we add ES when we hear is at the end of the word. Ted passes. And here's who he passes. So we're going to write Beth and Ness. Beth, capital B for a name. E is E. F is TH. And Ness, capital N. E. And then, did you remember the double S? This is a 1-syllable word and it has a short vowel sound. So S is written with a double S. And the next little bit, as he scoots. And he was one of our new strategy words. Think he exercises when you go to write the word he. As he scoots. As he scoots. And we could hear ooh in the middle. So we write double O. As he scoots. And then the last 3 words in our sentence, to the pond. And the was another strategy word for this lesson. Think the elephant if we're doing first sound spelling. To the is the next word. V is TH. Pond. Now our next sentence is as he goes past, he bosses them. Oh, I wonder what he says. Do you think he says go faster? You can decide. As is the only word that's going to fit in that space at the end of the line, so we'll write that first. Capital A. And then he goes past. Think about the way you're going to remember it. He goes past. Did you say goes on every scooter? Or did you think I'm going to add suffix ES? Now we've put a comma, and that's because this is where we're going to take a little breath. As he goes past, he bosses them. So he, boss is our starter word. then we've added suffix es. Them. Is th. Is e. Is m. Them. And the last sentence, it does him no good. Ooh, I wonder why. Let's write the first bit. It does. Capital I for the beginning of the sentence. It does. Okay, it's quite handy that it's underneath goes. We can see they're spelt in a very similar way. It does, and the last three words, him no good. Him no good. And we have an exclamation mark because he ended up being splattered with mud. That's why it did him no good. I think he didn't see the puddle as he looked over his shoulder to be bossy. Now, if you like, you can type up your story and read it to somebody. Or you can read this version that you've just written. Thank you for joining me.